Hello everyone, this is Terry Barnett. What we're going to be doing this time is I'm going to show you a little bit about extended batteries. The current phone that we're looking at today is actually the HTC EVO 4G by Sprint, and really what I've done here is I've actually put a cloth down, and the reason that's there is because most of the things that we're going to be doing today are going to be to the back of the phone. So as you can see here, this is the stock back battery compartment cover. You can see that there are the two holes for the LED lights. There's a camera port. There's a beautiful HTC logo, Sprint branding, and then of course we have an opening down here, which is one of the trademarks of the original EVO, for a kickstand. So that kickstand was designed so that you could actually pull that out and watch movies while you were using this particular phone. Well, one of the things that some phones are not very good at are battery use, and this is one of the phones that battery use was definitely an issue. This poor little thing sucked the battery down, and things have gotten better once I used an extended battery and also tweaked the operating system and the kernels. Now those are probably a little bit over many of your heads. That's okay. I'll be talking about kernels and operating systems in future videos. But right now, what I want to do is I want to show you what it looks like to take apart the back compartment and replace the battery with an extended battery. So the thing you'll need to do is you'll need to go ahead and order an extended battery. Now what I did is now this is my extended battery. This is actually a Sprint battery. So this is an official one. I went to it was actually a Boost mobile store, but it was a Sprint supplier. But you could get one of these extended batteries for real cheap on the internet, next to nothing. Let me see if I can get you the details on this particular one. This is actually the back of the battery, so we can get a little bit more detail on that. Extended battery model BTDHE EVO 26LP. That is a 2600 mAh Li Palmer rechargeable battery. So what you have here is basically the original battery was half of this, essentially. And so whenever you replace it with one of these extended batteries, this one actually isn't quite double, but it is a huge battery. Now, one of the things that happens is the battery compartment, you'll notice here, this phone is not very big. Okay, so this is a nice thinner phone, especially for as powerful as this phone has been. The problem is that the battery that came with it is a lot thinner than this battery. So we're going to have to make an adjustment. Now with the battery, whenever you purchase it, you also get, with this particular model, a couple different choices for, let me change my focus, a couple of different choices for backs. So as you can see here, there's a white version. It's got your kickstand area, got a speaker hole, got your camera hole, and the two LED light holes. There's also a little groove up here at the top that will allow you to take the back on and off. Now I'm a heavy user of my phone, and I'm also a heavy user of apps and changing things, so often I need to maybe reset it by pulling the battery out. Or if I just get bored, I have these two covers. Now I use the black one most of the time. You can see it's a little bit more scuffed, but I've actually used the white one. There is a white EVO, so it's actually designed to go with the white EVO, but I've changed it here and there just to kind of freshen it up. Now the good news about getting an extended battery is that the extended battery is going to give you at least most likely twice the life out of your phone during the day. Now there's other things that you can do, for example changing operating system, and especially what I've noticed the biggest difference in my battery life was with a kernel that's designed to give me battery life. So those are some things we'll talk about in some different videos: the operating systems, the ROMs, the custom ROMs, and also the kernels that you can put in different phones, and I'll kind of discuss that. But for right now, we're doing a physical change. So the positive thing is you're going to have more life. One of the bad experiences I had was my girls were getting ready to do a cheerleading competition, and right as they got ready to go on stage, my battery died. And that day, like right in the middle of that competition, I went out to a Sprint store, found the closest, Boost Mobile store is actually what it was, found the closest one, and got that new battery. So that battery that you see there is the one that I purchased that day. Alright, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and set this stuff to the side here. Set that battery over here. Now, whenever I open up this compartment, I don't actually have conveniently available to me the original battery, so you're not going to see the original battery in here. But what I'll do is I'll put the extended battery in there for just a second, so you can see where it's going to be whenever you open it up. So as I look at the case, you want to look for a place to open it up. I actually know where it is. I'm just showing you me looking at it. Right up here, there's a little groove. Now, if you have nails, you can put your hand in there and pop it up that way. If not, you could actually utilize a small screwdriver. My favorite tool of all time is probably a butter knife, which would probably be a better choice. I'll show you why here in just a second. So as I pop that back end up, it does have several little knobs around the phone, but as you begin to pull it around, you can pull it right off. So there's the original back. We're going to go ahead and set that aside. And whenever we open this up, you notice that the inside of the EVO is a beautiful color. It looks like it's a sports car inside. But what we would have if we had the original, now see, you can't put it in backwards. The little knobs right here. That's what happens whenever I'm behind the camera. Okay, you have little knobs right down here. There we go. Okay, so the original battery would be in here like this. The difference is it would be red for sure, and you'd have different information. It's not as many mAhs for the battery. This is not quite twice the size, but it's definitely a larger battery. So what you do is after you open it up, you'll notice that there's a little finger hole over here, a little finger hole over here, because that battery will be a lot more flush. Notice that whenever I put this one in, see, it sticks up over the inside of the EVO. So that's going to be part of our problem that we have to resolve with one of those backs that also came with this particular battery. So what we would do is we would pry that other one out, maybe with our tiny screwdriver, maybe with our fingernails. Butter knife might work, or a larger flathead screwdriver would also work. But be careful. Whenever I say be careful, I want to see if I can zoom in. Let me change this here for just a second, so maybe we can see right up here in the corner, right up in this area, you should notice some nicks. Okay, so these little nicks that go right here. Now this is actually an important component of your phone right here, and yet so there's actually some metal going in here, part of the antenna system, I believe. And what we have here is we have nicks in it. Those nicks are actually from me putting a screwdriver like this down in that little hole. So because this one is such a sharp little tool, it actually could damage your phone. So you want to be careful doing that. Alright, so to get the old battery out, you'd pry it out. I do want to go ahead and mention while we're in here, the only thing underneath that battery is the SD card. And so on some phones, the EVO 4G obviously, you would actually have to take out the battery to upgrade or change your SD card. So that is definitely something that we'll tackle and handle in one of our sessions. Alright, so you'd pull the old one out and you'd put the new one back in. Like I had mentioned before, we're going to have more space on the top of this. So what we're going to need is a back. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and put the white one on first. Okay, so I just simply push it on and then make sure it is sturdy. Okay, and then what I have is an EVO 4G with an extended battery. Okay, so that white might be a little distracting for you guys, but I want to show you that anyway. It would be gorgeous if you actually had the white EVO That would look really nice. Now if I want to change these out, if maybe I try it and I don't like it, this particular one, since it comes with two, I do have a choice there. Okay, now see, that one's giving me a problem getting it off. So now this one actually has been the tighter of the ones that I've used. And so I have to kind of snap that around here. Yep. Don't want to break anything. Okay. I'm going to put you down for a moment. My goodness. Okay, so I've been trying to pry that off there, and I was able to get, using the tool, I kind of held it up, and then I kind of moved that tool around the edge here, and was able to pull it off. This is a very tight back. That's one of the things I liked and hated about this particular back, is that I liked it because it was different. It made the phone stand out, but yet I can't get it off, and I actually pull the battery quite often just because I'm constantly playing around with my phone. Now here's the black one, and this one will snap right into place. You just want to make sure that you run your finger around the edges so that any of those little snaps inside will actually grip on there. And now we have, this is actually what my phone normally looks like. So this is the EVO 4G with the extended battery. Now, the downside is that once you put an extended battery on your phone, most likely the cases that you had as choices, for example, if you go to the mall to look for cases, or you go to a Sprint store and look for cases, most of the time they are not designing cases for these extended batteries. Okay, so the place that you'd have to get an extended battery case would normally be online, and it would be usually from the same company that you might buy an extended battery from. So whenever you start looking for extended batteries for your model of phone, make sure that you also buy a case for it, because I had a beautiful OtterBox case that I had this phone in, which I absolutely loved, but as soon as I made the decision to go with the upgraded battery, we lost that ability. Okay, so what you've seen here is you've seen a replacement of the battery with an extended battery, and also seen the installation of the new back cover. Notice that this new back cover has the opening for the LED lights, has speaker hole. This actual phone has a very loud speaker, really nice for watching movies, watching or listening to music, etc. Up here you've got your hole for the 8 megapixel camera. Beautiful camera in here. It's not the best out now, but it definitely has done its job while I've had it. And then of course your kickstand and everything else is on the front or on the side. So since we're just dealing with the battery today, we're not going to go too far or too much deeper into those. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this little demonstration of installing an extended battery and checking out optional back covers. Keep in mind, the positives are you're going to get more battery life out of this. The negatives are you're probably going to have a problem finding cases to fit your phone. Have a wonderful day.